This is a one place, one feeling episode. And today, that place is Amsterdam, the city where I was born, where I grew up, and where I lived until I was 30. So this one is personal. There's a part of Amsterdam most people never see. Not because it's hidden, it's right there on the map. But when tourists think of Amsterdam, they think of kennel houses, bicycles along the Prinsengracht, coffee shops, and the Anne Frank house. They don't think of Amsterdam Noord, so they don't think of Floradorp. Floradorp is a small garden village in the northern part of the city, built in the 1920s for working class families. Low houses, small gardens, quiet streets named after flowers. It doesn't look like the Amsterdam you see on postcards. It looks like a place where people actually lived, and that's exactly what it was. I grew up there, and for a long time I didn't think much of it. The way you never think much of the place that raised you. It was just home. The smell of the streets after rain, the sound of the neighborhood in the morning, the walk to school I could do with my eyes closed. It took leaving to understand what it was. Amsterdam is one of the most visited cities in Europe. Around 20 million tourists a year pass through a city of less than a million people. You feel that number on every corner of this old city center. But the change isn't just tourism, it's deeper than that. The city I grew up in had a texture to it, rough in places, honest, unpretentious, working neighborhoods where people knew each other. Cafes that had been there for 40 years, a certain Amsterdam directness that wasn't always comfortable but was always real. That texture is harder to find now. Noord or Amsterdam Noord has changed. What was once overlooked has become desirable. The post industrial waterfront, the NDSM wharf, the old shipyard, is now home to creative studios, rooftop bars, and weekend markets. Which is fine, progress is fine, but somewhere in that process, the neighborhood stopped belonging to the people who built it. That is not unique to Amsterdam, it happens in every city that becomes successful, but it hits differently when it's the place that raised you. Here's what I've learned about cities you've left: they keep living without you, and that's supposed to feel neutral, but it doesn't. When I go back to Amsterdam now, I walk through Amsterdam North like a visitor with a backstory. I know where everything used to be. The shops that's now concept store. The field where we played football that's now an apartment complex. The quietness that has been replaced by something louder and shinier and somehow emptier. And yet, the eye is still there, that wide stretch of water between Amsterdam North and the Amsterdam city center, with the free ferry crossing back and forth. On a grey morning in November, with fog sitting low on the water and almost no one around. Amsterdam still feels like Amsterdam, not the postcard version, the real one. And Floridorp still has its small gardens. The streets still have their flower names. Some things hold. But Amsterdam taught me something I didn't understand until I left. The cities that shape you don't owe you anything. They keep changing, they keep becoming something new. And if you're lucky, you get to carry the version that made you. Not as something to mourn, but as a foundation. That's why I travel. Not to escape where I'm from, but to understand it better by seeing everything else. This was Amsterdam. This was home. Next time on the Wanderlust Sessions, I'll take you somewhere I've never been before and had no reason to go, which turned out to be exactly the reason to go.